Well, good morning and welcome to the Real Monica Adams Show. I have two guests today, one with me on the mobile Monica version and one that's going to join us from New York. Now, I told you last night, if you know anybody that has dementia, Alzheimer's, it's that lost brain disease, right? That isolation that is not only felt by the person that is going through it, but everyone around trying to understand. And there are two people right now that are going to be with me this morning that have gone through it or are going through it. We're going to talk about this book, and I met this beautiful soul, it's been almost 2 months now. So Loretta is the author of this book. It's Loretta Anne Woodward Veney, being my mom's mom. This is actually a journey through dementia. It's told from a daughter's perspective. So she's going to join us from New York. Leah and I just happened to have a conversation within the last month, and she's like, God, Monica, I'm going through so much. She said, I think my mom's in the early stages of dementia. And I was like, oh my gosh, you have to join me on this interview because I would love for you to be able to ask questions to Loretta. She is very well known. She's actually tied into so many different organizations helping people as they go through this. So if you know anyone right now that's going through dementia, Alzheimer's, please do me a favor. Get on the phone right now, text them, let them know that we're on live, because the beauty of being on live with me, if they can, is that they can interact. They can ask questions. And if not, I'll be sure to, look at the comments later. I'll have Loretta do the same and I'll have Leah do the same, and they can hop in and ask some questions to you. And then of course it's Wednesday. So it's Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. And Mark Coulter's actually joining me on this one. We're going to debut a 2021 Pinot Noir, and we're going to talk about the holidays. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's Christmas music playing already here. I think it's too early, but I walked in and I will say it made me happy here. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm going to turn it up.
It's never too early for me.
Probably the neighbors are like, what are you doing? Did you say it's never too early? It makes you happy?
I love it.
Well, this is a little Santa Claus is coming in before we know it. You're right, Ray Charles. He is coming very, very soon. And it's time for the holidays. As you can see behind us, we're already decorating a Mark Anthony's Gifts and Spa for the holidays. We're in Kirkwood, where it's a little bit of everything. And Leah Faye does her beautiful facials, Leah Faye Aesthetics, right behind us. And a lot of people may not even know that. When you walk into Mark Anthony's, you see all these great clothes, you see the candles, you see the things for your home. And then she's tucked back in the corner, but you have a long history in doing this. You used to work
24 years.
Oh my gosh. 24 years of this glowing skin. That's why she looks as good as she does.
Yeah.
So yes, so that's here as well. And so when you think about the holidays and gift giving, maybe you get a gift card.
That's right.
Yep. To beautify somebody. So as you're saying good morning, I want you to let me know if you know someone. I will say firsthand that my husband's late father, who passed away, he had touches of Alzheimer's and dementia. And so we saw it for about 14 months, but I know people that have went through it for years and years and years. So we're going to talk about that this morning. We're going to have a little fun with you. We're going to have a little education. We're going to tug on your heartstrings. We're going to take you on the whirlwind emotion, which is really kind of what we do on a daily basis. If you're brand new to the show, welcome aboard. Thrilled to have you with us. Thank you, by the way. We are blessed. If it wasn't for you watching and it wasn't for our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to have this show and bring you what you really need in life, which is positivity, more hope, more light, and then education of the things of what we're going to deal with. Little pebbles and big boulders. And when your family member gets diagnosed with something like Alzheimer's or dementia, that's a big boulder. And then how do you handle it? How are you mentally, physically, spiritually taking care of yourself? I met Loretta Veney at a caregiver conference. We were both keynote speakers. Love with her as you are. She is my guest from New York when we return. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com. Welcome back. If you're just tuned in, it is the Real Monica Adams Show, brought to you by our friends at Invita Health and Wellness, right down the street. Dr. Sarah, we love you. Jamie, so much. Thank you for introducing me to that beautiful soul. And we are going to go well into 2024. I want to say congratulations to us and her that she renewed as we go into the new year. So you'll hear a lot of really great stories from our friends at Invita Health and Wellness. I mentioned if you're just tuned in, it is 7:05. We're just starting. By the way, today, 84 degrees, folks. That's the news you can use. 84, but it is going to drop down. We're going to get into the 40s tonight and then 60s for your high over the next few days. I asked my guest that is joining us from New York now what the weather was there because I think we're a little warmer. We're a little warmer. Let's bring her on. You're going to fall in love with her. Loretta Veney, how are you? I missed you.
I miss you too. We had such a blast in Illinois. I tell you,
Yes, we
it was
did.
a lot of fun.
Loretta, Leah, and to all of you, this
Loretta.
is my friend Loretta. She's on a whirlwind tour. Where have you been? Where have you not been? Probably.
I think right after I left you, I went to Amarillo, Texas, and worked with a lot of seniors, folks with dementia, and caregivers, staff of a assisted living place. I went to London, England, where I toured and worked with carers over there. Went to Lego headquarters in Denmark for a class on resilience that added to my certification of Lego Serious Play, which I use with people with dementia. So it was a cool trip.
And so, when are you ever going home?
Well, I did go home for three
Okay.
whole days
Okay.
and then came out again yesterday.
So let me say this again. Let me show you this book for anybody that is going through this. I want you to get
Yes.
this is Being My Mom's Mom. It is a journey through dementia from a daughter's perspective. So Loretta's going to tell you this story, and I want Leah to be able to ask some questions because she's just newly going through this. And I already
Yeah.
see questions coming in that we'll go back and forth. But how did you become the Lego lady, Loretta?
Well, so my, so my mom and I had been, doing Lego my whole life. She gave me my first set when I was 5. And, people have different strategies for, their own therapy and self-care, as you were mentioning earlier. And that was our thing. My mother didn't get the sets to build a car or a train. She wanted us to use our own imagination. So she just got us a box of regular bricks, and she taught us to use our imagination and build whatever we were thinking and feeling. So whenever things went well, we built with Lego. When things didn't go well, we built with Lego. So it was all about the Lego. And then Alzheimer's. So when my mom was diagnosed in 2006, she was 77 years old. And I think one of the most profound moments we had as a family is when we got in the car right after the diagnosis. And of course, she's hysterical and distraught. But Lego helped her to find her words. So I asked her when we got in the car to build how she was feeling about her diagnosis. And I promised her that we would have joy every day in spite of the diagnosis. And instead of putting some bricks together and building it, she took a Lego minifigure, and it has a little head. She popped the head off that minifigure. She held up the body and she said, I feel like in a few years I'm going to lose my head. And I put that on social media, and people said, oh my goodness, how profound it was for her to be able to capture, what she felt was coming for the rest of her life. And so we, built all kinds of things that, helped her not only found her words, but express how she was feeling. It kept her frustration down. She was never on any medicine or anything. And that's how we got through 16 years of dementia. And the most beautiful picture I think I have of my mom, and people were like, that's crazy. But it was the last day, of her life. But she had Lego bricks in her hands. If I can die with Lego bricks in my hands, I'm gonna be really happy. And so it showed that her love for that, you can't even really call it a toy in our life, but that, way that we communicated with each other. She remembered Lego, the word Lego, long after she forgot what my name was. So it was
Isn't
a
that
thing.
crazy? And then that's a thing that when you go around and talk, you regularly use those. And that's how
Yes.
you became the Lego lady.
So it's called Lego Serious Play, and Lego created it years ago for a business tool to help companies be more effective. But the premise of it is it ensures that everyone is included and all voices are heard. And even though I'm probably one of the few people using it with dementia, it didn't say all voices except people with dementia. So I've been using it to help seniors with dementia spark memories. Some people talk that haven't talked in years.
Oh my
People
God.
build memories of the house they grew up in 1939, and the daughter's building another house. Like, where is she building that? Like, oh, that's the house she grew up in, not the house you grew up in. And so it's been really amazing watching families build together to make new memories and recreate old memories that everybody thought they had forgotten. So it's our job when people have dementia to meet them where they are, and they're still in there even when they have that blank stare that I couldn't stand. But if we just pull them out, keep working with them, don't sit them in the corner like they don't have an opinion anymore. And
Right.
so I included my mom in everything, and that's how we survived it. So yeah, the Lego lady was kind of born from that.
I love it. And if you're just tuning in, again, Loretta Veney is my guest. You're looking at pictures of her beautiful mother right now and looking at those Legos. Loretta,
Yes.
so she has been gone how long now?
So a year now, almost 2 years. So she
Oh,
died January 31st of 22. Yeah. So I've really been on the road since then, helping other families. My mother taught us that, when you find a solution or a strategy that works, you don't keep it to yourself. You share it with other people. So
yes.
that's what I'm doing.
Absolutely. And I know there's a lot of people. I'm going to look back and forth at the questions. Leah, I know you're just going through this. Do you have any questions for her?
Well, I think just listening to you about engaging in conversation with them, I
Yes.
think is probably the most important that I just took out of that. And I can say that my brother and my dad's been taking care of my mom. My mom actually had a head injury when
Oh,
probably over 30 years ago. So
oh,
it's been a little struggle to. She's always had a memory issue.
hmm,
So it wasn't until about 3 years ago where it started noticing signs that it's probably a little different. And
yeah,
then just recently she was diagnosed with it, that they said it was dementia, which
yeah,
and it's like the short-term memory,
mm,
there's none there.
none. Hmm.
But then it's like I could take her for a walk around the hallway at the hospital and then sit her back in the bed and she'll look at me and ask, "You want to go for a walk?" And it's heartbreaking to in that stare, that blank stare. But I will say my brother has a way. I get emotional when I see her, and sometimes I have to walk away from it.
Yeah.
My brother, he will just sit there and ask her. She loved to cook, and he'll ask her about her recipes, and that is what gets her in that calm, like you were saying about the lake.
Yes.
So yeah, I've watched him, and thankfully he's helping my dad. He's able to watch her through the day. My dad's not ready to put her.
Yeah.
None of
No.
us are ready to put her in a nursing home right now. So it's
Mhm.
definitely a struggle.
Well, that decision alone, Loretta, right? Take us through that because people struggle with, can I take care of them? I can't
Yeah.
wrap my brain around having to put my loved one in a home, but am I doing them a disservice if I don't?
So you have to know what your limits and capabilities are. And sometimes it's hard for us to admit, okay, we're to that point where we can't do it, anymore. So, the word I try to always focus on when this decision is looming is safety. So if your dad is in the restroom and your mom is, alone, and she sees this, what she thinks is lemonade or iced tea on the counter, and she drinks it, but it was Pledge or Windex or something they don't recognize things. You know how you baby proof your home when you have
Yes.
you have to do that same thing. You
Wow.
turn your back for a minute and she's either run off, and my mother ran away not once, not twice, but three times, because in her mind, I moved her to Maryland because I couldn't, where I lived, because I couldn't afford to, keep her anywhere in D.C. She was born in Washington, D.C., and she wanted to die there. So she kept telling everybody I moved her. And so every time she could attempt to escape, she did. And whenever the police would call, they would say, "Where are you trying to go?" "Washington, D.C." She was determined to go back there. So if you turned your back for a minute, I was holding up some pajamas in Walmart, and I turned around and she was gone. So we have to recognize, wow, this might be past my capabilities. And so how I explained it to her, she went to an exercise class and left the stove on.
Oh,
And when I told her, she had to move, we couldn't do this anymore, she said, "I'll be good. Don't make me move." And I
oh,
stopped. I said, "No, no, you haven't done anything wrong." And she remembered I had like 40 years in the security industry. So she understood safety. I helped keep people safe. So I said, we need to really keep you safe. And we can't do that with you living here by yourself. And she said, oh, and I said, you went to exercise class? And she said, I love exercise class. I said, yes, but you forgot to turn the stove off before you went. I did? Yes. And I said, if the place had caught on fire, all your friends might have been hurt. Oh, that's bad. I said, yes. Okay, I'll go. So we held hands and went on through. And you might have to explain that 100 times, and you might cry as you're explaining it. But especially if you think about Lewy body, that's the one where people see hallucinations and things. And a lot of times they might forget that you're their spouse or their child, and cover you up with a pillow or something to try to hurt you. And it's not that they are trying to hurt you. They're whatever it is that they're seeing. So sometimes the Lewy body one in particular is the one where people are sort of forced to put them in a memory care or assisted living well before other people need to make that decision.
Sure.
So, it just really comes down to safety is the key.
Absolutely. Well, and I remember when my husband was going through it with his father, and then other stories started coming in because that's kind of like I'm looking at all the comments coming in,
Yeah.
people going, "Oh my gosh, yes, I went through that," or "Oh my gosh, it's just in the beginning stages. What is to come?" But everybody's looks different. It goes through the blank stare, the uncomfortable, crazy big laughter because they don't know what to say, the anger, the kind of being mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Almost the physical side that comes into play. It's a bevy of emotions. Let me see. Leona says, my husband was diagnosed 7+ years ago with dementia. This topic is going to be tough. Yeah.
Yes.
Loretta, Leona, all of us understand the regression usually after about 5 years is so sad. You just have to take it, press through it, and love the times you still have day by day.
Yes.
Yes. Be in the moment. I know we talk about a lot that you and I both in our talk talked about.
We did.
Talked about how important it is. And you have to understand this, right? Loretta, I think our biggest theme was what? Taking care of you first. You first. But I know it's hard as a caregiver. They don't even know how to take care of themselves.
Yeah. I watched my poor dad he's always been the rock of our family. And it's hard to watch him. This is the first time he's really, I feel like and I don't want to say the word struggle. Maybe it's not the right word, but I can see it.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch.
It is. And, I think as you and your brother, you can just provide as much support for him too. And I think if your, whomever your mom's friends, some of them are, still with us, maybe they can come for a bit and your dad can kind of catch his breath and watch what is successful with other people and just give everybody time to spend with your mom and be there for those amazing moments. And one of the things that's so, I think, interesting about this disease is that every day really is different. And so I always had a camera going because a lot of times they might say something, just really amazing. And if you like, wait, let me get the camera, say it again, they're never going to say it again. And I just had an amazing experience where a couple had been married 50 some years and we were doing the Lego thing and she had done it before, but she wasn't really that with it that day. And right before we ended, the husband says, oh, she's not doing it today. I said, don't worry, it's okay. Just be here with her. And then all of a sudden I have a little Lego heart in my kit. And all of a sudden she sort of came to life. She took the heart and she put it on the top of what they had built. And she said, love you. And the whole place went berserk. People were crying and hugging and the camera was, we got, and the picture of both of them, I could actually send you the picture later, but both of them going, and it was ever. And she's surprised, I guess, that she says it. She was like, oh, I said that. And he was just the whole group. It was everybody building with their spouse or their parent. And, everybody was cheering and we really did capture it. And so, if some other family members weren't there, you can include them, even if they're, miles and miles away. You can send pictures and things of the great moments and things that'll keep you going on the really bad days too. I call it a sort of an inspiration box and, book my box of joy. And whenever we were having a really bad day, pull out one of those emails or cards or whatever and show it with, to mom and, your dad. And so try to bring back some of those moments, but catch as much as you can with your mom on camera or video so that, you'll always have that moment when she was the mom or the spouse that you knew.
Yes,
And
you have to celebrate the moments, allow
yes,
them, and keep telling them through it. I know a lot of people, they struggle, they get angry because you're
yes,
like, how can you forget? I'm your
Right.
daughter, I'm your son. How could you forget? They don't want to, right? They have
Right.
no control over that. If you're
right.
just tuning in, it's the mobile Monica version of the Real Monica Adams Show with two beautiful guests here. We've got Leah Faye here's here with me here, and then we've got Loretta Veney. We're talking again about her book. We're going to go a little bit more in depth of Being My Mom's Mom. Michelle just said she just bought the book while we've been talking. I love that.
Yeah.
Kathy wants to know, Loretta, is dementia hereditary?
Oh man, that's such a great question. We don't really know. I mean, obviously, it is my greatest fear. I'd be lying if I said it was not. My mom was the first person in our family. So, one of the things I'm going to do, they're still looking at, the familial connection and the
Mhm.
genes and how that works. So, I did decide I am going to donate my brain when I'm no longer here so
Oh,
they can look
beautiful.
more closely at that. Dynamic. Does it mean that you go down? I mean, there's a specific gene where lots of families, have it and they pass it down to their children. There's a very good friend of mine that I know through a support group who both her kids have it. And so she's going to be, raising her grandkids and things. So it is a concern that, all of us kind of have. But as Monica, as you pointed out earlier, I think one of the best things we can do is do what we can. We can't control whether we're going to get it at this point. What we can do, though, as part of our self-care is take care of our brains as well. So I've been building all kinds of puzzles that I'm using to help other people, but it keeps my brain engaged too. So I'm
Absolutely.
gonna stave it off as long as I can. I'll be 65 in a few weeks, so I'm just trying to go forward. So we can't really focus on that. If I spent my life being terrified that I'm going to get it, then that's a thing. I think the most we can do for ourselves is try to just live our everyday too, and then just
Yes.
kind of see what happens.
Absolutely. And I think that's the most powerful thing. I'm going to take a quick break. I want you to think about this. We've got some really powerful questions and comments coming in. I want you to remember as you're going through this. I've been through it with Jim's father. You're going through it with your mom. Loretta's been through it with her mother. Some of you are saying that you went through it and the person's passed on, or maybe you're currently going through it. We want you to hear and see yourself in the story right now, or maybe it's something
Mm,
that what I want you to do though is really live your life. There's too many people that think it's going to happen to me. Well, you don't know that. It's the unknown. So don't
right.
live your life that it is. Just live your
Waiting.
life
Yeah.
and embrace the moments. More with Loretta, Leah, and myself when we return.
Carroll House Furniture is growing and hiring for many positions. Drive to success delivering concierge service and setup in customer homes.
Enjoy teamwork in our clean, organized warehouse where Carroll House stocks for fast, free delivery.
Associates sell more and make more with 3.5 acres of choices in stock, infinite custom orders, plus the lowest prices in the country.
If you like top pay and the best benefits in St. Louis, you'll love working here.
So if you like nice things, join the Carroll House Furniture family.
Well, the warmer weather is exiting and colder weather is upon us. Have you been putting off getting that heater inspected or fixed? Well, that's like pushing your car to fumes. You don't want to be left feeling empty and cold. Let Aldon Indoor Air Quality Specialist come to your rescue to take you out of the miserable cold inside your home and help warm you, your home, and your hearts. Don't put it off or you'll be stranded inside in the cold. Aldon Indoor Air Quality Specialist. From routine maintenance to unexpected repairs, they've got you covered with 24-hour availability. al-don.com. Welcome back. It is 7:23. If you're just tuned in, we're talking to Loretta Anne Woodward Veney. It's Being My Mom's Mom. She's the author of this book. Leah Faye is just starting to go through this with her mother. As I mentioned, I've been through it with my husband's father, who had passed before we ever got married, and that was the hardest thing, is to not have those moments that you want so much. And a lot of you are asking questions and saying exactly what I knew you would say, which is, ready, Loretta? I love this lady. Everybody, I can guarantee you'll ever laugh. That's the biggest thing that I fell in love with. Rose says, big topic, Monica. So many families affected by this. My mother-in-law had it. She was in her late 60s. Sometimes you had to laugh or you'd cry. Oh,
That's correct.
powerful. We would visit her and she would ask her son if his wife knew he had a girlfriend. That was me. We rolled with it. You have to. And, during the break, Leah brought up something really, really powerful. And that is, you can't get so frustrated that you start getting angry and you're lashing out. But you're so, if we were in the studio right now, we would be reading 100 Days to Freedom from Anger, because fear, anxiety, anger, depression, shame. You go through all of those. So today it would be hard to pick a particular book because Loretta, I'm sure you've been through them all, haven't you?
Yes, I mean it's so hard. I just try to get up every day and focus on what am I in control of on this day, and then just kind of go from there.
We were looking earlier. I'm going to show these pictures again because if you just tuned in, you missed her beautiful mother. And this is her mom. Again, we're talking about the Legos and how she became the Lego lady. Go back and listen to the beginning of the interview about that. With this book, though, Loretta, what is the greatest? If we could just, I wish I could have you on for like hours. What is the greatest message that you want to get across speaking about this beautiful woman that we're looking at on screen from a daughter's perspective? Because again, you have to speak for her. She couldn't say
Sure.
this.
Oh, absolutely. That's absolutely true. I think one of the best things that comes out of the book and my experience, and Leah just touched on it, and that is the word patience. There's a whole lot more to that than just patience is a virtue. I think the greatest gift you can give to someone with dementia is your patience. People are aware that they get angry and when somebody repeats the same thing over and over and over, and you can hear yourself yelling at them. But I think if you stop and count to 10 or 100 or 1,000, I used to read magazine covers in the grocery store line, while I was answering her. And so however you can enhance your patience strategy. I told a woman to build patience with her Lego bricks while her husband was wandering in the middle of the night and keeping her awake. And I said, then when he stops, wears himself out, go to bed, you go to bed too. After you build, and she sent me this beautiful picture of her having built patience. And she said, thank you for that strategy because it really did help me. Now I don't get mad and throw stuff down when he throws stuff. I just build with my Lego bricks until I can calm myself down, and then I can go back to being the wife I know he needs. And that was like the greatest gift she gave me. So patience is key.
Well, and you have that in the book. It's actually chapter 5. Patience is a virtue, but beyond that, right? But I also like this one, and it's chapter 6. You talk about keeping hope and humor alive because it's so easy to get lost in the anger, resentment, shame, fear, crying, but you got to keep the humor there, right?
You do. You do, and probably one of our best stories is, everybody takes selfies, and we're sitting at a dining room table, and we're looking at the camera, and she says, "How did we get into that box?"
Yeah,
and
that was my favorite story.
we fell on the floor, just fell on the floor, and it was so cool. And then later we got out of the box. And yes, we sure did. And I mean, and it's one of the best pictures. Just the smile on her face. It's priceless. It's so priceless. And so
we had a really funny story that my mom at the hospital, she kept ordering this roast beef sandwich, and every time she'd get it, she'd look at the nurse and she'd say, I don't eat meat. I wouldn't eat that. And she goes, I only eat vegetables. Like, I'm a vegetarian. And my dad, sometimes it hits him. He's like, no, like he would sit there and argue with her. Like, no, you're not, Christine, you're not a vegetarian. And I looked at him, I said, yes, she's a vegetarian. I was like, okay, we just have to go with it. Well, then she had the roast beef the next day.
A new day, right? Anybody else with questions or comments? Okay, so very well said. Jerry is a blessed man to have in his life. I may have missed a comment. I don't know. Good morning. Today I'm watching from YouTube and also following the comments on Facebook. Fantastic. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Feeling the love with Loretta. I love it. Okay. Linda says, yes, we went through this with our mother. We stayed with her 24/7 until she fell and broke her leg. She then moved to rehab nursing home, but over time we realized she could never come home. We couldn't provide her the proper care she needed. Her thing was puzzles. She loved doing these, so there was always a puzzle going, even through the pieces, even though the pieces didn't always fit properly, it was there for her. Rose says, Loretta, my mother-in-law drank bottles and bottles of liquid Benadryl to sleep for years. Doctor thought there was a correlation.
Wow. Between that, and I think some of the studies, I mean, there's so many studies up there today looking at the use of alcohol and cigarettes and all of that, and how that, deteriorates the brain more rapidly and those kind of things. So I think anything we do that we put into our bodies is other than the natural things we probably should put into it, can certainly make the dementia component much worse So it's just a thing we have to pay really close attention to, I'd say.
Absolutely. I have this question, but we'll get to some other ones also. So, would you recommend those, since there is so much unknown, that do have a family member, of a mother, a father, maybe a sibling, if they were diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's? Would you recommend? I believe there are some tests out that can maybe show indication that it is, right. That's what I've heard within the last year or two.
Yeah, I think, and I would ask, whoever the neurologist is,
Mhm.
or ask a gerontologist, neurologist, psychiatrist, any of those, and who can point you to not only relevant and current research, but also looking at research studies. Because I did a research study with my mom, and that's how you really put a lot of the pieces together, participating in the study. And it might not help your loved one, but it certainly will help other people down the road. And so, following the research, not what you necessarily see in Google, but ask the neurologist to recommend, especially if there's some research or studies going on in the town where you live, then you can be aware of that, get on the mailing list, and kind of follow along what some of the recommendations are that go along with a variety of studies. So it's really just about keeping yourself informed, being in the know, and looking out for and now we know we have 3 or 4 drugs available that are supposed to stave it off. I mean, certainly still not a cure, but better than nothing. So I think staying on top of that also can give you some peace of mind that we hope, that keep hope and humor alive. We hope that there's still going to be something that in the, you would hope near future will help us all. But until that, we just have to stay on top of the research and do what is best for the person that we're caring for.
Absolutely. Again, if you have a question or comment, let us know. Michelle said yes. Puzzles, word games, Sudoku, keep the body moving, eat healthy. Yes. She said, we saw my grandmother deteriorate when she stopped playing Scrabble and working in her yard, right? Taking the passions away from them. So you got to keep those alive. Stephanie says, I remember going home to see my mom in memory care. We made eye contact. She was trying to remember me. I made her a photo album for her to look at. She passed 2 years ago. I feel for all of you. Such a sad thing. Stephanie, our heart goes out to you.
But that photo album she created is just so amazing, because you can always look back on it and remember this little smile that she had when she recognized one of the pictures. So it's a beautiful gift.
Well, yes, and go through them every single time. You should go back, because again, you both had mentioned the short-term memory's not there, but boy, that long-term memory, and let them tell the stories over and over again. I don't care how many times you've heard it, because again, when you don't have your mom or your dad anymore, you wish
you're going to miss it.
The story. Exactly.
You're going to wish you could hear that story one more time.
And that's why it was important when, I think if you just now tuned in, you missed it. Loretta said, film as much as you can. That's the beauty of technology. You have the abilities to have cameras and check in on them, look at their safety, see what they're doing, remind them like, hey, you did this today. Gwen says, good morning, great topic. My mother has Alzheimer's and her mother also had it. I'm looking forward to hearing everything. So I hope you heard from the beginning. If you didn't, please go back to that. Some people saying, excellent topic. My grandma had dementia. When visiting with her, my husband wisely said, quote, she may not remember, but we will.
That's correct. That is the best thing. And it's always, it brings a smile to your face, no matter, how long it's, been. You can say, oh, I remember that day. And it's a great feeling.
Yeah. Michelle just said, my grandmother offered her apartment in Chicago to my husband and I when we visited in our wedding clothes. She hadn't lived in Chicago since she was in her early 20s. We went with it. Fortunately, she tuned in briefly to tell me that I looked happy, and then she welcomed Mike to the family. What a beautiful thing, right?
Oh, now that's cool. That is cool.
And then Dana just said, I lost my dad to Alzheimer's this past January. I was his caregiver for 5 years. It's heartbreaking to watch them deteriorate and their memories fade away. I'm grateful for my time with him. Take as many pictures and videos with them as you can. I mean, that's the biggest thing that we can get across. And it's also, though, I want to go back to this. How did you make sure that you took care of yourself, Loretta?
It was in the schedule. And like if you have a accountability partner, you're going to go walking with them or talking with them. And if they call and say, oh, something came up, I can't go today. Don't say, okay, well, I'll see you next week or whenever. You go anyway. And, because the minute you start to let your self-care slide, then that's when the trouble starts to brew. So put it right in there, in your phone, your calendar, whatever it is you carry around, and, schedule it. And so that's, that's the best way to kind of ensure your time is, important, and get people on your team. I call it, the tribe. And, while you are, you know, making time for a massage, someone else can sit with mom or dad and have fun with them while you're out. And then you feel so much better when you come back from your walk or yoga or Zumba or whatever it is that you're doing. But it has to be in that schedule, because if not, you'll ignore it. I just witnessed an argument a few weeks ago where a woman was insistent that she had her mammogram, and the doctor was like, "No, you didn't have it. I have it right here." And then when she looked it up, she took her mama for a mammogram. She had not had it. The doctor
She lost herself.
so put it on the schedule. If it's not on the schedule, you're not going to do it. And she was so focused on getting her mom stuff. She was, she would have lost her house in a bet that she had done the mammogram thing, and it wasn't even, her mammogram. So that's how lost we can get, being focused on, I got to get mom to this, I got to get mom to that. Okay, get yourself there too, though. So
Yes. I think that was the biggest message that Loretta and I got across when we spoke in Springfield, Illinois a couple of months ago, is even though a lot of the people in the room were like, but no, there's no time. And I'm like, you have to make time for you. You have to. The people who love you most understand this. They will be there for you. Or for this matter, you'll find out who really has your back.
That's
because
true.
they are there during these hard times. So understand
Very
that.
true.
One more comment from Joe. My mom passed 15 years ago yesterday. For those people going through a family member with dementia, do not let the disease impact your health. There we go.
That's
It's
correct.
hard work to care for a family member with dementia. My
Thank you,
mom
Joe.
wore my dad out at night because she kept getting out of bed. When he decided to put her in a nursing home, his health improved dramatically.
Yes.
Mom hated being in the nursing home, but it was best for her, for my dad, and for my sisters. And then Dana just said, it's exhausting being a caregiver. I lost myself in the process. It affected my mental and physical health. I would do things differently and take more care of myself and ask for help. And then Lori Adams just said, my aunt passed away from Lewy body dementia that Loretta talked about earlier, almost 2 years ago. I miss her so much. This disease is so cruel. It is. And that's the thing. We all probably know someone. It's kind of like cancer. Unfortunately, it's gotten to be that. We mentioned dementia, Alzheimer's, and someone says yes. We have the big Alzheimer's walk here. If you've never been involved with it, I highly recommend that you look into that. I was really blessed to do a beautiful story. You'll have to look into that, by the way. I did a story when I was at Fox that was with actually the gentleman who owns the restaurant right next door, and his family affected by it. And it's Walk for Alzheimer's. So look that up for sure. It's so powerful.
It is.
Do you ever come to St. Louis, Loretta?
I've been there twice in the last couple of years, so I'm coming back.
You better. And I'm going to take you to dinner because I miss you. I connected souls with you so much.
We did, right?
I'd like to bring you back on because it's obviously a topic that's going to regularly be on the top of our minds, and people wanting help along as they first get diagnosed, and then it's unknown, right? Scared. I don't even know what to expect. And then you want to listen to other people that have been there and lean in. You can't do it alone. I think that's the message we have to leave you with, Loretta, right? Don't try to go at it alone. You'll get lost.
It will be bad. Yeah.
Well, you're definitely an inspiration.
See? Oh, thank you so much. We'll be in touch, Leah. You're stuck with me now. So
I love it.
So this is the book I want you to get because it will help you through this. Being My Mom's Mom, A Journey Through Dementia from a Daughter's Perspective. I'd give you my copy, but it says for Monica, thanks for all you do. I can't give that one to you.
I'm going to get one.
I will send you, don't get one. Send me your address. I'll sign one for you. My new sister girl.
Oh, you're a girl. And then Loretta, for anybody that wants to follow you, what's the easiest way for them to follow along with you?
I am Loretta Woodward Veney on Facebook and Loretta Veney on LinkedIn. So look for me. And my website has everything, a lot of these little tips that we've been talking about, lorettaveney.com. Pretty easy.
Yes, love her. But we're going to give her full name. It's Loretta Anne Woodward Veney.
It is.
Thank you.
Remember that part.
I love you.
Love you back.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show since we launched back in March. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Personal training, life coaching, and styling as well. Info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. And welcome back. I promised you a great interview. Wasn't she amazing?
She was amazing.
Yes. And so I want to thank Loretta Veney again for coming on with us. And I thank all of you for all your incredible questions. You can keep them coming in, by the way, and I'll make sure that she sees this. This, by the way, was brought to you by our friends at Hit It, Leah. Oh, it's dead. Oh, no. Kathy Kilo Peterson, I need some batteries. It should say, dun, 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 dun. State Farm is there. So Kathy Kilo Peterson is a wonderful State Farm agent. If you don't have a good agent, or you have an agent that's not really there for you, kkilo.com is where you need to go. This woman, if you did meet her, possibly she was at the event Saturday night. She is such a sweetheart. I love her. I've just fallen, just like Loretta and everyone that I've been surrounding myself with, great people that will be there for you. So 636-561-6460, Kathy Kilo Peterson. So we're talking about supplemental insurance. If something happens to your home, it's all those times when you need somebody else to be thinking and being there for you, because you never know when the disasters happen, but you need them to be there and jump in and say, I got you. Don't you worry about anything. And that's exactly what she will do. So Kathy, thank you for being a part of this segment. Kathy Kilo Peterson, State Farm agent, kkilo.com. All right. Someone very near and dear to our heart who owns this, not only this place, but also Christopher's right across from Kirkwood Farmers Market. He joined me yesterday. We taped one of your all favorite segments, Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. You'll have to join me one of these times.
Definitely.
It's fun.
One of my favorite things to do.
To what? Have wine. Well, that's what we're doing. And today we're going to introduce you to Pinot Noir. I hope you enjoy this. We'll come back to wrap it up after this. So you just heard it, popping the cork. It's time for Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. Every week you get a chance to see somebody new with me, friends, family, true sommeliers that know what they're talking about. That's actually coming up for you. Next week, my brother Craig Adams will be joining us, and he's going to probably really school his baby sister on wine. But it's fun that we get a chance to taste some of the products that Clayton Winehouse has and maybe take you out of your comfort zone. Maybe it's wine, maybe it's tequila, maybe it's beer, different types of spirits. Well, we've been doing all of those. In fact, let me bring my guest on with me and I'll tell him what we started with. This is my dear friend Mark Coulter, who maybe you've seen on the show before. Mark and I have known each other since he was 18 years old, and you're what now?
I am now 36.
30, oh my gosh, almost 20 years.
Yes.
So Mark owns Christopher's and Mark Anthony's in Kirkwood. So it's Mark Anthony's Gifts and Spa and the experiences that they have there. And then Christopher's right across from Kirkwood Farmers Market. A lot of you ask, where do I dress from, right? Where are my clothes from? For 20 years, I've wore Joseph Ribkoff. And it's so funny that I told you about Joseph almost 20 years ago. And then you're like, Monica, I'm carrying it at Christopher's. And I love it. So when you see the clothes that I have, I buy a lot of my clothes from his store. So I wanted you to see him, hear about some of the things you have coming up for the holidays, and combine two of my favorite things, Mark. Drinking and shopping.
Yes. Always the best.
Years ago, I used to say, you and I used to run into each other at Nordstrom and their big holiday party, right? And one of the things that we loved was shopping, and they would give you like some champagne or you'd have a glass of wine. And I was like, why don't more people do this? Because you end up spending more.
Usually, yes. And
I'm sure you see
sometimes more returns. No.
No. Oh, that's true. They're like, what was I thinking?
Yes.
So thank you for coming on. Absolutely. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to talk about Clayton Winehouse first. You just went to their location, their only location, but you just went to Clayton Winehouse for our big event on Saturday. Yes. What'd you think?
It was spectacular. The front door just does the first moment. I always say the first 5 seconds. And that front door, and then when we walk in, the circle of wine is incredible. It's clean, it's crisp. You want to go shop. It's all about the experience.
And that's the thing, and that's why we teamed up with them. And so we always say again, Chris, Sean, Tim, the owners, thank you so much for hosting our event. And it really was, if you haven't heard us talk about it yet, it was so successful. We raised $18,000 for Yuppie Puppies Forever Rescue. And you had never heard of them, right? You had?
I have, yes.
So you were the person I was talking about when I had Jessica in on Monday saying, I love the fact that we can introduce people who have always thought of buying dogs, a specific designer breed, but you now know that they have golden doodles, which you happen to love.
Yes.
Is that dangerous?
Just 3. Oh my.
We're looking for a fourth from them.
Oh no.
No. But when people are thinking about the animals, that maybe they can think about yuppie puppies. So we raised that money at Clayton Winehouse. But you're right. The very first time I was introduced to Clayton Winehouse, it's all about that door. That presentation of the door is stunning.
It's it's so simple, and it's just a big metal or maybe wood door, and you walk inside and it takes your breath away.
Right. And so wine there, spirits. Okay, so I was saying straight out of the gate, tequila. That is what they gave us to show on the show the very first day, and I'm like, tequila, vodkas, rums, beer. They have pasta there. No, seriously, they have syrups there. They have everything to make your wonderful charcuterie platters for the holidays. One of the reasons I wanted you to join this week is that you love to host.
Yes.
Right? And so people, though, rush around crazy during the holidays and wait to the last second. And they're running to the big box stores. I love supporting local, supporting your stores. You're a small business owner, so talk about the importance of that.
Just the importance of having something unique, something that it's easy to shop. You're not hopefully in a building with 200 people or 10,000 people in a mall. You're local. You have a vibe in Kirkwood, at least. Even here in Clayton, there's that vibe of just the local, the small, the warmth of the town. Even with the tall buildings here in Clayton, there's still just that vibe of just the warmth of the holidays approaching, and for Thanksgiving, for all those things we want to celebrate with our loved ones, our friends, our families. I think it's great to always, sometimes you need alcohol, sometimes you don't, and or it's just water. So.
Well, and the small business aspect is you want the small businesses to thrive.
Yes.
And, during 2020, 21, 22, we saw so many businesses that had to close.
Yes.
And I'm sure you had to go through of, gosh, are we going to be able to survive? And now they're starting to come back. And some of them are really thriving. And I think that's the whole thing is, I don't want you to rush around for the holidays for those hosting events or for going to an event. And please thank the person that put all that hard work into the hosting.
Yes.
Bring them a hostess gift.
Yes.
Right? And that's it. The simplest thing is pick up a bottle of wine. I mean, I don't know. Some people maybe don't want one. You probably do need to know your audience. Do they drink or do they don't drink? Then think another step. Sure. Get them something that they can eat or that they can, a candle. The simplest thing. You love candles. You have them highlighted at both of your stores. Why? Why has that become such a big part of your stores?
It is such a simple gift that even we have ones that are non-fragrant, but most 98% of them are. People love a fresh scent. People love something different. Everyone in their home usually has some type of fragrance. It's not just plain air. You want something that when I walked in your space today, I'm like, what is that? That's actually a candle I
had
her.
to laugh at that. I'm like, Mark, the candle we burn every day is the gift you, again, candle. You gave us this gift, and it's, well, I love jasmine. What is it? Jasmine Midnight Blooms. Do you still have these sizes at your store?
We do, yes. So we don't have that fragrance. Was more like summer, spring a little bit. It was one of their best, and I didn't.
But this size you have.
But that size, that's the hearth, yes.
So let me tell you all,
5-wick.
You gave this to us when we launched our show here, not just launching our show back in March, but June 12th was our first show, and this is where you may have seen Mark.
Yes.
You gave it to us then, so this is back in June, and we're almost half, a little bit below half, and we burn this, though, all morning long. Yeah. So, we're going to have to get another one because this is perfect. I mean, I just love how it looks. It's funny, though. I saw somebody say something about, don't give a candle for a gift. It's so ridiculous. And I'm like, oh, you're wrong. Oh. Candles are incredible. It makes your home smell amazing.
It's one of our top items.
Yep, thought so.
Just many unique things. Just to be something unique. Don't have the candle from the big box stores always. Are the more reasonable one. We have reasonable candles as well. We go from $10 or $8 to maybe $500.
Few hundred. Oh, $500. Wow.
So, and they all sell. So
combining, once again, if you're just tuning in, it's one of our favorite segments brought to you by Clayton Winehouse, ClaytonWinehouse.com. Check them out. Again, Clayton Road, and they have so many things that you would probably want for yourself or for the holidays coming up. I can't believe we're up against Thanksgiving. You're probably running like a chicken with your head cut off, getting ready for the holidays.
We are.
You just had your holiday open house?
We did, yes, kind of like Nordstrom's. I always say I'm taking it over for Nordy's.
Nordy's.
And it was a great success, one of the largest yet. And then
Congrats.
the next day was actually the wine walk. And we actually had 2 different wines, and people love their wine, obviously.
Yep.
We literally, I think that day, I was in a meeting, we did over 4,000 above our goal for that day, probably because of the wine. So
Well,
wine is even a better gift.
Yes. You started doing that with your different big shopping bazaars, et cetera. I think it's important, and I would love for you guys to collaborate together. I don't know where you've been getting your wine from, but it would be great now that you've been there. So the same thing that you just said, you have candles from this price to this price point. I think people walk into Clayton Winehouse, see the beauty of it all as you're seeing here, and going, oh, I probably can't afford it. That's not true. We have featured on this show bottles of wine that are $10, $20, $25, and then yes, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands maybe bottles of wine for the true wine aficionado collector. But we all know that the general population, they're probably $20, $40, $50 bottles of wine that they would like to try.
12 to 15.
Yes, exactly.
For the everyday bottle.
We had a $10 bottle that was really incredible. Today's we're going to feature is a Pinot Noir. Now, do you do Pinot Noirs?
I always say I take my palate, go anywhere and try everything.
So this is the one, it's called Benchlands Brandborg. It's a 2021 Pinot Noir. And I also want to let you know that maybe you could go and try that out at their fall open house, which is coming up on November 18th. It's going to be from 5 to 7. It's going to be a complimentary open house that they're having. And they're going to have a lot of different wines that they'll feature. Perfect for Thanksgiving. So you're literally right up against Thanksgiving. This is why they want you to come. If you've never been there before, they're going to have food available from the Mobile. The Mobile, and an opportunity for you to do different tastings. So if you've never had an opportunity to go and just say, like you did the night of our event, well, maybe I'll try this, maybe I'll try that, maybe I'll like this. I've never had it before. The Mobile, by the way, has smash burgers, steak frites. That's fancy French fries, by the way.
Oh, yes.
They have some beef that's sourced from it's Pierce Creek Cattle Company in Londell, Missouri. So we've been featuring different things. A couple weeks ago, we featured their beef sticks from Japan, Missouri. Have you even heard of Japan, Missouri?
I have.
You
yes.
have? Okay. Japan, Missouri, they have these meat sticks that are incredible. They're Wagyu beef sticks. Ooh. And so they don't have that greasy taste to them. They've got them there. We had them there that night, though. This is actually the Pierce Creek Cattle Company, all pasture raised, no added hormones or unnecessary antibiotics. So it's truly that farm to table that we all like. So that's going to be the food from Mobile. Again, and then the wine tastings. Mark it on the calendar, Saturday, November 18th, 5 to 7 p.m. An opportunity for you to go to Clayton Winehouse. And maybe you want to try this one. So this is a Pinot Noir. I'm going to tell you that when I first started drinking red wines, my brother, who will join us next week, he said that Pinot Noirs are the white drinker's red. That's an easy way to transition you into a red wine without this big, in-your-face, dry red that some people don't like. Right? So for you, did you used to drink just mainly white wines?
I was a Riesling.
Yes, we all were.
That was my start. And then,
sweet wines. Yes. And then you have really opened your palate.
Yes.
Pinot Noirs, I think, would be an easy one for you. So for those of you that want to try red wines, this is a 2021. Now, we have talked about this before, but it's been a handful of weeks. So not all wines have corks. Not all wines, by the other way, have the actual cork. It might be rubber. Some of them will be, what you're hearing here, a twist-off. Which in a true wine drinker's mind, they're like, I can't drink wine that twists off. It became a thing, by the way, Mark, about, I don't know, was it 5 years ago? I think I was at Channel 2 at the time, that boxed wines that were actually very high-end from some incredible vineyards became a thing. And you think about that and you're like, don't serve me boxed wine. Yeah. But you talked about presentation. So I think that's the mindset. People are thinking, well, no, I want to uncork the bottle. Nope. We're going to try this, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So I'm going to pour this one for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Mark is so cute. Mark was like, go ahead and take that one. Mark's like, so what are we going to do? We're going to talk about hosting. We're going to talk about wine. I'm like, you're going to drink with me in the morning.
I'm like, oh, a great start to the day.
Yeah, that's right. Well, my brother Brian was on here, and he said, Oh, well, people say all the time it's 5 o'clock somewhere. He's like, they didn't say if it was AM or
5
PM.
a.m.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
All right, let's see. I'm going to let you taste while I talk about this.
Okay.
And it'll be interesting to see if you taste or smell. Use all your senses. Oh, it smells good. So it'd be interesting to see if you can taste or if you smell any of the things that they give us. So this is Brandborg Benchlands Pinot Noir. It's a great fall Thanksgiving wine. Not to be confused with the Willamette Valley. This wine hails from the much less known Umpqua Valley, maybe, of southern Oregon. There, with the help of a warmer, drier climate, the Pinot Noir gets quite a bit more ripe, which results in the production of darkly fruited, medium-bodied wine with hints of baking spice and silky tannins. So they didn't give us a lot of notes on this one, but
it's very warm.
Warm?
It's amazing. It's light but warm.
Ooh.
It would go amazing with the
Thanksgiving.
stuffing and turkey.
Yes.
I want to.
So
When do they open? Because I'm going to go here later.
Okay, guys, get ready. He wants to come. Oh, that's a
Yes.
good point, by the way. And we mentioned at the night of the event, anyone that watches this show gets 15% off just by saying, hey, I found out about you from the Real Monica Adams show.
very nice.
15% off, and that's when I would say, don't just go in and buy one bottle. Stock up on your holiday gifts.
Yes.
Stock up on hostess gifts. New Year's, right? You're going to go to a New Year's party or you're going to host a New Year's party. Don't run at the last second. Please be organized. Don't run at the last second up to any of the grocery stores or the big box stores. This is when you support local.
Yes.
So if I hadn't said that this was a good holiday, fall, Thanksgiving, would you have said the same thing
right
you said?
Right away.
Right away,
I thought
huh?
of Thanksgiving. I thought of that. It doesn't have too much body, but it's not light and it's not heavy. It's just,
You're right. It's right in between.
it's crisp. It's,
Oh, it does, definitely. Now, see, again, I haven't drank Pinot Noirs in a while. And that's why I love Chris, Sean, Tim, thank you for all of the different products that we get a chance to try. Because if you're a Pinot Noir fan, yeah, this is absolutely Thanksgiving wine
it's amazing.
through and through.
And even just not even Thanksgiving, it would be an everyday red. I'm more of a red person during the winter, or
Yes.
with a great piece.
Sitting by a fireplace or a bonfire.
Or
To
a great
me,
cut of meat and
you and I love, again, we love throwing parties.
yes.
But to me, in the fall, until it gets crazy, crazy cold for the winter, there's nothing like sitting outside by a bonfire with a great glass of red wine and laughing and laughing and laughing, which you and I love to
A
do.
little bit.
Just a little bit. Cheers again.
Cheers.
So you brought in some brownies. We're going to see if that pairs, or if we say, see, now this isn't the right wine to pair with that. And you brought some honey in. Tell us about that.
So we have two different lines that we have here. So one is a line that we've had for many years. It is called, this is the Peppermint Bark Brownie Mix.
Okay.
And let me just tell you, I am not a baker. And last
Well, it
night when
looks
I got home
good.
at 7:30, I'm like, I do not feel like baking these lovely things. But it literally took 20 minutes.
20
And,
minutes?
Yeah, it took 20 minutes. I did it all in 20 minutes.
I'm not going to dump them.
No, I think they're...
These aren't funny brownies, right?
No, they're not. No. None of that. So just on the way here this morning, I was like, no.
Stress.
But yes, we'll have to try them and see how it goes with the
So,
wine. I'm sure.
I like the fact that you said that you're not big
they're
into
done.
baking. They are, and they're
Okay.
chewy. I'm going to
They're
put it
very-
because I don't want to reach all
They
the way
have
across.
chocolate chips in them.
Can you hold that for
And
me?
yes, absolutely.
I got to reach across and get
Here,
that.
I'll
Let's
grab
get
it.
those plates. No, okay. Yeah, let's just be real. They're way across. Good. Okay, so we're going to try this. And so tell us when we come into the store if we want to get this.
Yes,
and
so
bake.
it's right in our kitchen area.
Okay.
We have tons of different holiday
At
flair and then every
Christopher's
day.
or both?
At Christopher's.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we're talking about the brownie mix that you have. You've got a lot of
And
really
these
great
could have been
things for
baked a
snacks.
little bit longer, probably.
No, they're they're
No,
good.
they're very gooey. So.
Gooey, gooey.
Gooey.
Go, oh yeah, and go. Let's see if it goes with a Pinot Noir, or is it going to go with a Cab?
Let's
It's
see.
finger licking good, Mark.
Oh.
We don't have any forks.
What chicken place is that? No. Chicken with turkey. And they're not done all the way.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Oh, wow.
it tastes good. It doesn't need to be cooked longer or baked longer. I'm more of a cook than I am a baker. Would you say the same for you?
Oh, wow. It takes
Oh,
the
it does go
peppermint
good.
and wow. Very good.
It is good together.
Okay. This whole bottle might be gone in about 5 minutes. Very good. It goes very well.
It is good. It actually pulls the tannins out.
The brownie.
The tannins that I think a lot of people taste in red wine is what turns them off sometimes. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yes. It's also, though, and we've mentioned this on the show before, it's also the fact that when you open a bottle of wine and you want it to be ready for you, it wants to be talked to you for a little bit. It wants a little oxygen. It wants to read the room.
To breathe.
Yes. It wants to breathe, and it wants to say, well, what's going to go on at this party? Okay, I'll cooperate. Wow. That actually changed the tannins.
Wow.
I like that. Crazy. So sweets, there you go. So you're going to have a bunch of pies probably and cakes and cookies and brownies around the holidays. Okay, I'm going to tell you, this is a great holiday wine.
It is.
Now, it changed because I told you I'm not usually, I have transitioned out of Pinot Noirs and went into blends and cabs and big Italian wines, some French wines, and I have forgotten about the good old Pinot Noir.
The good old days. The real deal, just a simple Pinot Noir.
That has drastically changed with sweets.
And it's funny, I am a prisoner freak. That's like the
I
only
love
red
they
I drink.
have Prisoner there too.
And I was on Friday night. They sold the last bottles towards the end of the event. I'm like, do you have a bottle or a case of Prisoner I can purchase? He's like, I just sold the last bottle. I said, oh, it's okay. And now look, now I have another.
A Pinot. They can order though for you. That's something I want you to know. So ask the guys if you do have a favorite and you're like, that's it. I don't even want to be introduced to any of the other wines. I mean, I name my dogs after wine. So I'm a huge Quintessa fan. If you're a Quintessa fan, they're in between years, vintages right now. So that's why they didn't have any, but they have Opus 1, our dog named after Opus. They do have Penfolds, which is in Adelaide, Australia, which is where if you didn't know that, that's why Adelaide is named Adelaide. Okay. I didn't want to call her Penfolds. Little Penfolds running around. But if you have your absolutes, just ask the guys, because if they're down to their last couple of bottles, they'll order it for you. They can order it in. Yes. Okay. So before we wrap up, you also have some honey. You want to talk about that? Because people are very big into honey.
We have honey, which I've never been the biggest honey fan.
But people love to put it in teas.
In teas.
I love it in teas.
And just on top of a little cracker, we were shocked. We have 3 different flavors. Actually, this upcoming Thursday we have an ornament signing. And we're going to have the honeys there. Radko, Christopher Radko. Yes.
By the way, if you've never been into Christopher's, you have to. You're going to fall in love around the holidays. You decorate it so well, Mark. I love it.
Thank you.
But you do the signing with It's Thomas?
Yes.
No, Thomas Radko. Is it Thomas Radko?
Christopher Radko.
Christopher Radko.
Yeah, so Christopher Radko. So Christopher is no longer, he has sold, but Christopher Radko is still the ornament. They have the 2 designers still on staff, and we will have one of the designers from New York. He is flying in on Thursday at 3 o'clock. So he'll be flying right to the store.
So popular.
And we have 2, first year we're doing a little happy hour, and we have 2 ornaments exclusive to our events that he'll be signing there.
You're going to get some wine for this?
Yes,
right.
we are. We'll be having
this
hook you
there. Up with them. Honey,
awesome.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people do love honey.
Yes.
I'm a big honey fan. Instead of putting artificial things in your teas, and I will say this, people like honey made by the bees from your own area from an allergy standpoint. Are these?
Yes. They are not in Missouri.
Okay. But you know that's a big thing.
Oh yes, and they actually have their own bees. The couple, it's a powerhouse couple. I say they've started. They both during COVID.
They started this.
They started this, and he's always been doing honey, and so they said let's do it. And
Generation B.
Generation B.
Generation
so just
B.
many generations to come with wine, and all those aging processes.
Chili.
The chili, and
my gosh,
it is
you kidding
amazing,
me?
and it is
Sweet
spicy.
and
And I bet
spice.
with this, it would just be fabulous. But there's many options within. It's a little holiday pack, so it's great. That,
Do you want to try the chili?
Yeah, let's try
chili
it.
and then lavender and orange basil. Interesting.
Yes.
So here's the thing. You can go to Clayton Winehouse and actually get cheeses and sausages and things like that. But then if you want to add some honeys then maybe.
I'm sure they have honey. We have honey.
You go into my friend Christopher's because I'm teaming my friends together.
Yes.
Oh, can I rip this box?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, come on. So chili. I'm a big fan of pulling together the spicy and then the sweet. So it's, sometimes people are just ridiculous in how spicy they try to put things.
Yes.
And we'll do like little challenges. We've got a cracker that we're going to do with this. You've had this one already?
I have had all 3, and the chili.
Lavender though is interesting.
The lavender I was shocked by.
Like good?
amazing. Like absolutely, the orange one, especially for this time of year, would be amazing. But the chili definitely has a kick to it.
But not too much. A nice little peppery. Yeah, that's not too spicy. Really good. So again, honeys,
the wine, and
the brown. Yeah, let's see how they taste together.
Cheers.
The cheers. I love to constantly cheer. Cheer to good health. Cheers to great friends. I've known this guy since he was 18. Just a baby.
Oh, wow.
I like the sweet better.
I like this.
That's why I like tastings. So, okay, so we can come in and we can get the brownie mix at the Christopher's location. The honeys
all of our
are
foods at Christopher's.
also
the honeys
at
are Christopher's. Yes, all foods
and the
at
candles?
Christopher's. And the candles, those are Christopher's as well.
Okay, and then what's in that box?
And in this box, this is the
Creme de la creme.
amazing gift. Yes, this is the amazing gift this year. That it is Santa's kindness. So I thought of all things, I had our display team with the candle. It says kindness. So we're all about being kind. Always making sure that is the most number one thing in life. But during holiday, during all the fast moving times, the Santa's kindness ornament we have it basically is an ornament that children. But adults, number one, that need the kindness.
We're all kids.
We're all kids at heart, but I always say to adults. But you scan the QR code. It is a large ornament that you stick, like the old days, generations back. You stick the light from the tree in the back of it, and it lights up the coordinates on the sides, and they gleam at night. And then every morning, December 1st through 24th, you scan the ornament to have Santa. He comes live to your device.
Oh my
phone,
gosh.
iPad.
Seriously?
And then he has you journal. It comes out a journal
I just saw
inside.
that it includes an ornament and a journal. You know I'm all about journaling, Mark.
So you then, when you call it the Monica Kindness Journal, and we then, you literally just journal once a day. So I market it mainly for adults and then kids as well, obviously, but Santa.
This is awesome.
We want Santa in the home every day through
Santa
the 24th.
will inspire your child to share kindness with others. I mean, literally, this aligns all of our missions. It's the perfect way to wrap up our segment.
It is.
He will send you daily messages starting December 1st. Santa Kindness Ornament. I love this. It inspires children to nurture, help others, share goodness, and to give. It is the giving season.
Yes.
It's the kindness, and hopefully it carries over into the next year. So candles and brownie mix and honey, Santa Kindness Ornament, all of those things you can get at my dear friend Mark's at Christopher's and Mark Anthony's, located in Kirkwood. He has experiences there for you as well, because Leah, oh my God, I love Leah. If you want to do facials and things like that, she's such an incredible, she's an incredible human being. But from the wine aspect, from your charcuteries, from, again, spirits and beer, or to their event space. Maybe you want to book that event space for your own event coming up very soon. We had some people when I was in there the other day, a lady walked in and she's like, oh, I want to see the event space you've been talking about. I'm like, oh, I love it. I met a follower that had been following the show, and she came in to see this beautiful event space, which is stunning. So think about that. Support local. I can't say it enough. So that's why I wanted to team these guys together. ClaytonWinehouse.com is where I want you to go. 15% off for your holiday gift giving, hostess parties, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Think about our friends at Clayton Winehouse. And then when you're in Kirkwood, please stop in to Mark's place as well. We say it all the time. This is how we're going to wrap up the show. You want to say it with me together?
Yes.
Please, before anything, go out, be anything you want to be in the world. But first, be kind. God bless you all. Love you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Amazing as always. Look at you. Oh my God.
Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment, or online, EnvitaHealthandWellness.com. Welcome back. You thought we were done, but I wanted to plug something really quick. Look at Beanie Babies are so hot, which is crazy. Leah, who I was just talking about with Mark, love you, girl.
Thank
Love you.
Love
You've got
you.
some cool things
Cosmetics,
also.
skincare for
Yeah.
Christmas, and Beanie Babies.
And
candles.
here's the thing. This is breaking news. We always have something up our sleeve. So Mark and I are going to do a new segment at Christopher's and at Mark Anthony's. You know how Oprah has her favorite things? How about this? What do you think about this? I haven't even passed it by him yet. How about Monica's must-haves?
I love it.
Yes.
Got wine in it. I'm all there too.
So I hope you've had a great time with that segment. Hope you got a little education. Hopefully it helped you along with what we're talking about with dementia and Alzheimer's at the very beginning. So if you missed that, go back and watch the beginning of it. But on the 17th, we're going to kick off that new segment with Mark Coulter and myself at Christopher's live at 7 a.m. And then on the 22nd, we will be live here at Mark Anthony's. This has literally been something I've been talking about for a year.
Since we
You remember,
that, right.
we had a lot of meetings about this. Finally, we're going to do it. So starting on the 17th, you'll see Mark and I together doing the Christmas countdown, which the music, by the way, is already playing at his stores. And a little bit of Christmas is already sprinkled in. So yes, get on your shopping. So you'll be able to see those. We're going to actually do segments all the way up leading up to Christmas. So I hope you enjoy those. And by the way, if there's anything you ever want to see on this show, segments you would like for us to do, let us know. You never know. I always deliver, don't I? Hey, whatever you'd like me to do, let's do it. I did see a lot of you saying, yummy, yum. I love a good Pinot Noir. Michelle said he's not a baker, but I tell you what, I disagree. I loved it. And he actually is an incredible host, is he not?
Very much so.
Good cook. If he had more time, he would have been able to bake to his standards.
Right.
But I'll tell you that was the reason I liked the wine, was the pairing of the sweet. So go back and watch all of that, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's show, each and every one of them. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all of our sponsors. And Leah, thanks for being my co-host today.
Thank you.
We've got great shows to come. Tomorrow, Eli Ward, who was on The Voice from Waterloo, Illinois. He's going to perform for us tomorrow in studio, a special in studio on a Thursday, where I'm not usually there on Thursdays. And then Friday, on the road with Steve Hartman. Steve recently did a segment on this Grandma Peggy, who lost her grandson. She used to cook for all the kids from DeBerg before they would go to school in the morning. Well, her grandson passed, but the kids still show up.
Oh, I love
Isn't that
story.
neat? We're going to have her on. She's actually going to be here. So we're going to do another show from here. We're mixing in more and more and more of our Mobile Monicas with guests. So to all of you, remember I said it earlier, you can go out and do anything in this world, but before you're anything, be kind. God bless you all.
Free.
Bye-bye.
Free to be kind.